Okay, today we're going to be working on our technical exercises, and we're going to be using our B flat concert scale. Okay, so you see here it says concert B flat. This is the scale that you probably learned first as a beginner. Okay, so we're going to be working with that, a little bit of review for some of you, and for some of you we're going to do some new information as well. Now notice here it says key of C. Key of C is for trumpets, it's our major scale. So this is our C major scale, but in concert pitch, it's the key of B flat. I know that can be confusing, but concert pitch is the note that your band director says, because all the different instruments are starting on different notes. So like flutes and trombones and tubas, they're playing B flat. Clarinets and trumpets are starting on a C. So even though your teacher says we're going to play our B flat concert scale, you don't start on a B flat because you're not a concert instrument. You're a B flat instrument, so you start on a C. So I know that can be a little confusing. We'll revisit that, but just know that your B flat concert scale starts on a C. Okay, we're going to start with this first line right here. Before we even start, I'm going to number the notes of my scale. Okay, so right here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I'm going to come back down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. In our scale, we have 8 notes. Okay, now we're going to do our note names, but I want us to practice doing our note names in whole notes. So in just a little bit, we're going to do our note names in whole notes, but this is let's review what our note names are. So we start on C, and then we're going to go in alphabetical order. So after C, we have D, E, F, G, A, B, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. So when we're going up, we're going forward in our alphabet. When we're coming down, we're going backwards in our alphabet. If we look at our key signature right here, there's no flats, no sharps. So in our B flat concert scale, we have no flats, no sharps. We start and end on C. Okay, now we're going to, I call it bopping. Your band director might call it something else, but we're going to bop the notes in whole notes. And when we do that, we're going to say our note name at the beginning of the whole note. We're going to have our instrument in our hands so that we can press our buttons while we say the note. Okay, so I'll do it for you, but I'd like for you to do this with me. So I'll do it once so you can see what we're going to do, and then I'll do it again so we can do it together. Okay, so I have my metronome at 80. All right. So we're going to start here, bopping the notes, trumpet in your hand so you can press your buttons as you spot the notes. Ready, and set, and go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. And off. Good, let's do it again. Make sure you're bopping the note with me and you're pressing your buttons as we go. One more time. 2, and ready, and go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. and off. Very good. Just a reminder, remember when we play our Ds, slide out. Slide out. I put SO just to remind me I'm going to put my slide out. Okay? So I know that's kind of hard to see. My pencil is not very dark. But S-O, S-O, slide out. Okay? Let's play it now. Alright guys, before we play our scale and whole notes, just a reminder, if you have not warmed up yet, please make sure you warm up. So remember to do your buzzing your G's, do your Remington warm up, and do your 2 lip slurs. Okay, so go through that part of your warm up first, and then you're going to start this part of your lesson. We don't want to do this without having warmed up our embouchure yet. Okay, alright, we're going to play our scale in whole notes. Make sure you get your slide out on your D's. Metronome at 80. 1, 2, big breath. When I'm playing my scale, a couple of things. I'm working on getting a good sound on every single note. I want to try to use up all my air before I breathe, so I'm breathing maybe every 2, 3, sometimes even 4 notes. You definitely don't want to breathe every note, okay? So listen to your breathing. When you get up to your higher notes, if you're a little bit out of shape, they might sound wobbly, they might crack, so make sure you're blowing lots of air. And I want you to practice this again, what we just did right now. Pause the video, you're going to do your scale again, think about your breathing, your tone, and making sure you're pushing fast air on your top 3 notes, notes 6, 7, and 8, A, B, and C. Okay, do the scale again on your own. Okay, now that we played it in whole notes, now we're going to do it in half notes. Let's bop it first. Okay, always pressing our buttons when we bop. Make sure we do our slide out. And now we're saying our notes, pressing our buttons in half notes. 1 and 2 and ready and go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. And off. We'll always do the double whole note at the end. Okay? All right, let's play it. Okay, now that you've practiced it in whole notes, now we're going to do it in half notes. The same rule applies. You want to play as many notes in one breath as you can. Push faster on your high notes. Okay, slide out on your D's, and the best possible sound you can play with. Half notes. And 1, 2, big breath. So you got to get a big breath for that last note, okay, because it's a double whole note. I ran out of breath because I didn't take one, okay? So you're going to practice it, pause the video. I want you to practice your scale in half notes now. Okay, next we're going to do halves and quarters. So I'm going to play my quarter notes like half notes, and I'm going to play my eighth notes like quarter notes. So this is the rhythm that I'm going to play. Half, quarter, 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 half, quarter, 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 whole note. 2 whole notes. Okay, I want you to press your buttons as I go through that rhythm. Okay, halves and quarters, and ready and go. Half, quarter, 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 half, quarter, 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 whole note. And off. Okay, all right, let's play that rhythm now. Okay guys, now we're going to play halves and quarters. Make sure you're taking a big breath, pushing lots of air on the way up your scale to get a nice, pretty sounding C. Set. Still slide out on your Ds. 1, 2, big breath. Pause the video and practice in halves and quarters. Okay, next we're going to play it the way it's written, exactly how it's written. So we're going to play the rhythm. Let's count it first. Make sure you're pressing your buttons as we count. Ready, and set, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Good. Again, press those buttons nice and hard. Pop them as you pop your fingers up and press them down hard on the way down. Okay? Pressing those fingers again. Count it. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Off. Okay, now we're going to play it. Alright, I think we're ready to play it now in quarters and eighth notes. If you're still struggling with wholes, halves, or quarters, then you might want to wait on this part of the lesson. Okay? If you've got the first part of the lesson down, then go ahead and play it with me in quarter and eighth notes the way it's written. Set. And 1, 2, big breath. Good. Go ahead and pause the video and now practice it the way it's written in quarter and eighth note. Okay, this next part of our technical exercises, we're working with a mini scale and tonic arpeggio. Okay, so look for mini scale, tonic arpeggio. And there's 2 lines. There's a low line and a high line. Right now we're just going to do the low line. Okay, this bottom line here. If you notice, it's called mini scale because we are not using our whole scale. So I'm going to number my notes again so I can see how many notes I'm using. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I am only using the first 5 notes of my scale. C, D, E, F, and G. So if you notice these 3 measures, they're mini scales. The last measure is our arpeggio. An arpeggio is first note of the scale, third note of the scale, 5th note, and 8th note. That is the pattern for arpeggio. 1, 3, 5, 8. So we can write that right here. 1, 3, 5, and 8. That's what we call an arpeggio. Okay? So we're going to start with our mini scale and tonic arpeggio. And I would like for us to just do our bopping of our notes, just measure 1. Okay, we're going to bop the notes in half. Let's start in half notes, bopping the notes. Okay, ready? And 1 and 2 and halves and go. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D. One more time, ready, go. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D. Good. Make sure you're pressing your buttons. Last time, and ready and go. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D. Good. Let's do it in quarter notes now. Pressing your buttons. 1 and 2 and quarters go. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D. Again and go. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D. Last time and go. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D. Awesome. Now we're going to go all the way across. Notice our arpeggio. 1, 3, 5. C, E, G, C. It changes there, the pattern. Okay? In quarter notes from beginning to end. Ready? Push your buttons. 1, 2, set, and go. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D. C, E, G, C, G, E, C. And stop. Good. Before we play it, let's look at the articulation. Notice here we're going to slur the whole measure. Measure 2, we're going to slur 2, tongue 2. Measure 3, we tongue all the 3 notes. So each measure should sound different with our, we call that our articulation, the way we use our tongue. Okay? So slurring the whole measure, slurring 2, tonguing 2, slurring all the whole, tonguing the whole measure. We'll work on that right now as we play. All right, guys, now we're going to do our mini scale and tonic arpeggio. We're going to do 1 measure at a time. We're going to, I know in our fingering chart we did half notes. Okay, so let's play it in half notes, just the first measure. And let's do the articulation. So we're not going to tongue any notes. So the first measure in half notes and no tonguing. Okay? All right, ready? Make sure you get your slide out on your D's. And 1 and 2 and slur. Note of the second measure just so we can start and end on C. So let's do that again. 1, 2, ready. Awesome. If you're good with that, we're going to go on to the next part of the play it in quarter notes, but if you need to practice that on your own, practice it in half notes again. Okay, now we're going to do our mini scale in quarter notes, just measure 1. So we're slurring all the whole measure. So we're going to do measure 1 plus 1 note. So we're going to start and end on C. Okay, slurring, ready, set, 1, 2, ready. Good. Make sure when you move your fingers and you're slurring, don't go faster. Stay with the metronome. Again, 2, tap your foot. ya, ta, ta, tia, ta, ta, ta. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Again and go. Now measure 3. We tongue everything. Plus 1 note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again and go. And the last measure, arpeggio, tongue it all. And 1, 2, ready, go. Again, last measure, go. Awesome. Now we put it all together. The whole thing. First measure slurred, second measure tongue slur to tongue 2, third measure we tongue everything. Ready? 1 and 2, beginning. I want you to take a few minutes and practice that on your own. Make sure you're listening for the way you articulate, the way you use your tongue, good sound, using your slide, and making sure we're using up all of our air before we take a breath. We want to try not to breathe a whole lot. We want to use up all of our air and then breathe. Okay? Go ahead and practice on your own for a few minutes. Okay guys, if you've mastered playing your mini scale and tonic arpeggio and quarter notes, now we're going to do it in eighth notes. If you haven't mastered quarter notes yet, then you're not going to do this part of the video. Okay, this is only for the students that have mastered it in quarter notes. Continue with the video because there's still some more for you to do, okay? But we don't want to go fast until we're ready to go fast. But if you're ready, you're going to play it with me in eighth notes now. All right? In eighth notes. Set. And 1 and 2 and ready and go. Again, 1 and 2, big breath. Awesome. So practice it in eighth notes now. Okay, now we're ready for the last part of our technical exercises today, is our scale pattern 1. Notice there's 2 lines. We're going to be working with the bottom line only. Okay, just the bottom line. Now, before we do the whole line, I would like to go 4 notes at a time. So we're going to start in half notes, and we're going to do 4 notes, rest, 4 notes, rest, 4 notes, rest. Just doing our note names in half notes. Okay? All right, ready? 4 notes, and 1 and 2 and half notes go. C, D, E, C. Rest, 2, ready and go. D, E, F, G. Rest and ready and go. E, F, G, E. Rest, 2 and ready and go. F, G, A, F, rest, 2, and ready, and go. G, F, E, G, rest, 2, and ready, and go. F, E, D, F, rest, 2, and ready, and go. E, D, C, E, rest, and 2, and ready, and go. D, C, E, D, rest, 2, and half notes go. C, B, C, and stop. Okay, we're going to play it just like that in half notes. Okay, our last technical exercise that we're going to do is our scale pattern. Okay, all right, so we're going to start with our scale pattern, the bottom line. We're going to do 4 notes at a time. You already practiced bopping them, so now we're going to play them. Let's play them in, let's do half notes first, 4 notes at a time. Okay, first 4 notes, make sure we're using our slide. And 1 and 2 and halves and go. Next, 4, go. Next, 4 and 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 go. Last measure, go. Okay, all right, if you need to practice that a little bit more on your own, go ahead and pause the video, do it in half notes again if you were having trouble or making mistakes. If not, we're going to go on and we're going to play it in quarter notes. Okay, now that we played it in half notes, we're going to speed it up just a little bit. Now we're going to do it in quarter notes. Let's bop it first. Make sure we're getting our slides out on our Ds, bopping our notes and pressing our buttons. 1, 2, quarter notes. C, D, E, C, rest and go. D, E, F, D, rest and go. E, F, G, E, rest and go. F, G, A, F, rest and go. G, F, E, G, rest and go. F, E, B, F, rest and go. E, D, C, E, rest and go. D, C, B, D, rest and go. C, B, C, off. Good, let's play it. Okay guys, now we're ready to do it in quarter notes, 4 notes at a time. Set, and 1, 2, 4 notes, go. practice it individually. Okay guys, now we're going to play it without any rest. We're still in quarter notes, but no resting in between the notes, straight through. Okay, quarter notes. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you want to practice that being able to play from beginning to end with 0 mistakes. So if you made a mistake, pause the video and practice it and try to limit the amount of mistakes you're making. Okay guys, now we're going to play in 8 notes. Before we play it without stopping, let's go back to playing 4 notes at a time, but now in 8 notes. Ready? And 1 and 2 and ready, go. Okay, this is the goal. If you're not ready, just follow along, push your buttons, but if you're ready, play it with me. The whole way without stopping. 8 notes, and 1 and 2 and ready. That's the goal, guys. So we want to be able to do all 3 exercises in 8 notes at 80. If you can't do that yet, that is okay, because some of you, this is your first time looking at this. Practice it in whole notes first like we did, then halves, and then slowly speed it up. If you've played these before, then your goal is to play them at the tempo that I'm playing them at, and once you can play them at 80, then push yourself to play them faster. Speed up the metronome and try 85, then try 90, try 95. Keep going and pushing yourself. If you're making lots of mistakes, slow it back down, because it's not worth speeding it up if you're going to make mistakes. Okay, but push yourself to go faster if you can play it at that tempo, if you've played these before. If this is new to you, take it slow, learn it correct before you speed it up. Thank you guys.